Right, so welcome back to the channel. Going to be doing another video today. This is on a set of stairs again. We've got 2 other videos on the channel of stairs, so if you haven't already watched them, go and watch them, because today it's not really fitting the stairs. I'm going to be remaking this bottom section here because the story height is wrong. So here you can see how high up I am. I need to add another step on it, on just this bottom section. So I've got some material here for the string, some 18mm MDF, some 9mm MDF, and yeah, I'm going to be remaking this today. So yeah, I'll quickly show you now. Right, so as you can see here, we're a bit high. So what we've come up with is, obviously we can't keep it at this level because it'll clash with the window if they screed up. So we're going to add another step and we'll be 50mm below here. And then they'll screed that in. And then over there, they're going to put, obviously it'll be flooring, then a window board, then that, and that will split the 50mm difference with a 22.5mm window board. Yeah, this is the set of stairs. So you're going to have 3 steps here, then like basically a half landing. Goes up, turns, and then goes up to them trimmers there. I've notched them glue lambs into the knoll as much as I can, and then I'm going to have to build, I believe I'm going to build a wall under here, around here, and then it will also return around here, and then here you'll have like a door underneath here, and then that will obviously, I believe there's going to be some sort of consumer unit or some electrical stuff going on there. But this is a timber frame house, as you can see. So it's a timber frame house, essentially, and upstairs, I'll show you in a minute, what we've had to do is lay basically 3x2 joist, so to speak, with a 10 to 15mm bit of foam on the underside, and that's to sort of stop the noise transmitting through the ceiling to the flat below, because it's too flat. So I'm basically, now I'm here, I'm in the communal area of going to the upstairs flat. Downstairs in the other plot, they've got 2 layers of 15mm soundboard, so the regs, and I think some of that that metal tracking, but the sound resilient bar, that's the one. So yeah, there's quite a bit to do. I've never actually built a set of stairs like this, like having to actually router it out myself, so it'll be a test of the old skills. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on what I'm doing. Right, so the first thing, I'm going to lay this one out on top of it, because as far as I'm concerned, this here is all correct. I just need to add another step here. So I've laid up the 18mm and the 12mm. I'm going to cut this all out as one, glue and screw it all together, and then router in my, obviously, the housings for these treads and risers to go in. I'll do the same on the other side, but this one's a bit more complicated because I've got to try and keep this but move it down 1 tread, and then I've got to try and keep this sort of housing here to go into the knoll. So that'll be a little bit more tricky, but this shouldn't be too technical to do. It's just the routing out might be a bit tricky, but you know, the only edge that has to be nice is this top edge where the tread meets the string. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Right, so now here you can see what I've done. I've obviously laid that one on top of this one, marked, you know, just the profile of it, and then I've worked out with the stepping down method. I know that my I think it'd be called the rise is 205mm. So obviously I've marked this out, I've come down 205mm, then that's my run from here to here, which is, I believe, 244 to the front edge. Then I've obviously come back to allow for the riser to go up inside a groove that's routed into the tread. So you can see I've got all of that marked out there now, and then that would basically be my seat cut and my plumb cut. Because what I've done is I've set my diagon up at the plumb and the seat cut, and then I can just step down every time. And then you see here I've marked these lines to keep all of these the same. And yeah, I'm going to cut them out now as a pair, because then they're together, and then I'm going to router the 18mm out. Otherwise, if I router the 12, you can see there'll be none left of it. So I just router the 18. But yeah, I'm gonna router that out now. Right, I thought I'd just show you quickly. That is obviously the string. On here what I did was I used the guide on the router up against this edge. That's just a parallel margin, so to speak, for the fence. And then here, obviously these are plumb and seat cuts. So all I've been doing is I've got this trig jig big bevel thingy-majig. I think it's called the BB350 sliding bevel. And I put that along there. And then I will hold it in one hand, and the other hand I'll run this edge against this. And then I go through and do all of these, do all the seats, and then I'll just sort of take away all of the meat for where obviously your wooden wedges are going to go. So yeah, it's quite a time-taking job, but you know, it is what it is. That's just construction doesn't always go to plan, and that's what you need to remember. And things do take time, so it is what it is at the end of the day. You can only do what you can do in a day. So yeah, I'll catch up with you once I've routed all of this out, and yeah, show you the next step. Right, so here now you can see everything is all nicely routed out. Ready to go. I've cut this down here, and I've also routed that because the other stuff's 27mm and this is 30, so I need that to be grooved because that then goes into another housing that goes up against the wall on the other section of stairs. So I'm going to take that over there now and see if it works. Right, so now I have got the stairs behind me, the string in place, and I'll just show you now. So now you can see the string. I've routed it all out. Goes into that groove nice. I just got to push that home a bit at the bottom. But yeah, so now you can see you've got the 3 steps, and then they'll just have to screed to the underside of that. And then I've just got to build this small one and make some treads and risers for it. And then it should work. Just going to glue and screw these all together. Let that go off overnight. And yeah, be able to finish the whole stairs off. So it should be good. Right, so now I'm moving on to the next section. Obviously, we've just completed this one at the top here. This section now, obviously, I need to keep this, but I need to shift this down. So I'll have one step here and then that groove. So basically, I need to basically add a step in the middle of these. So I'm just going to mark this out now, and then I'll get back to you when I've marked it out and show you how I've marked it all out, because I think this is going to be the tricky bit, to be honest with you, but we'll see how we get on. Right, so now I've tackled this bottom section. As you can see, I've marked it out in the MDF. Got the top, you've got the tenon, so to speak, to go into the mortise of the null. You've got one tread, one tread, and so on. As you come to the bottom, you've got this next housing, which is this. Obviously, I'll have to router this. All of this will be routed out, the same as on the last one I've done. And then obviously these here, I think they're tenons, I'm sure they're tenons. Someone in the comments will probably correct me. But that tenon to go in the mortise of the null, I've got to allow, because obviously this is 27mm thick. And obviously I've got 12 and 18 ply, which is 30mm. So I've got to just allow for 3mm of that. But yeah, I'm going to screw these together, router all of this out like I did in the last one, and then see if it fits. So, and then I'll have to make 3 new treads, because I feel like if I try and get these ones apart, they're just going to be absolutely shagged. So I'll just make some. I've got loads of thingy. The risers, I've already got the risers. I don't need to make those. But yeah, I'll get back to you once I've cut it all out, routed it all out. Right, so I've finished routering out the other side of the string that receives the two null posts. So I'll flip the camera around now, show you. So as you can see, that's in there. You've got the bottom null and the top null. You see it from the back, look fine. Got this one that goes along the wall here. Just got to glue and screw these together. There'll be a bead that goes over. A tip, make sure you cover this join here of the two sheets, because otherwise that will always crack and it will look a bit naff. Here, it won't be too bad because you'll have the top rail that takes the spindles, etc. Another little tip is, obviously I'm going to build these in situ now, so I'm going to take this off, and I've got to take all of this off because I've got to glue these together to make them as one, so to speak. But I'll take this off the wall and fit this first, and then slide this one, because I've got some play here, tie it to the wall and then push it in, because otherwise you won't get that in this as it is now, because you haven't got enough room to get it into here and all of this. But yeah, that's them. I thought I'd make this video really just to show you that things don't always go as you want them to in construction. You know, in an ideal world, we want this staircase all to be right, the floor level to all be good. You know, sometimes there's a miscommunication somewhere, or everyone makes mistakes at the end of the day. But just being able to make this, and then, you know, this then allows us to keep working, keep pushing on, because then if we had to order another staircase, we could be looking at weeks away. And then if, you know, there's not just us here, there's other trades, you know, that will be keep pushing back, etc. So yeah, it's good to be able to make this. It's all made literally with MDF and a Makita palm router, so, you know, anything's possible. So these are the 3x2s I was talking about with the insulation on the bottom. We've run them in to meet our joist section where the stairs are here flush. As you can see, you've got the cavity of the timber frame panels. So if I was second fixing, the door's obviously going to go here, and I'd cut the flooring so that essentially that flooring is solid, and this through this house and hallway, or apartment should I say, is all one massive floating floor, because you don't want this floor here to be floating, because one, it's a communal area, so it doesn't matter about the noise, and two, you don't want like spongy flooring underneath where your stairs are going, you know. But I've never really done this stuff before. It's just insulated in between the joists, so to speak. Then you've got 400 centres with 18mm cable deck on top, 300mm centres underneath the bath. The pipes are all routed on top of the flooring, but yeah, because the flooring on this timber frame is just 18mm OSB with 600 centres posi joist below, so you know. But yeah, that's it. So I thought I'd make the video a bit longer. So here I'm making the actual treads out of MDF, because I don't want to take that apart, it'll just be ruined. So now I'm routering out here the groove for the riser to go in, and then I'm going to ball nose them and then cut them down to length, because on one of them obviously it's got to go into the actual null, so I'm going to have to do a bit of jiggery pokery to work out what to cut off of that. But yeah, and then I actually think I might film us actually putting it together, but obviously not sure when that will be. Probably tomorrow, because you can see here I've glued and screwed it all down here, so then by tomorrow that all have gone off. Alf's back tomorrow, and then we will build this in situ, and I'll probably record us doing it, a little time lapse or something. But yeah, so I just thought I'd show you. See, it's all nice. I've just testing the ball nose to see how that will look, and I'm pretty happy with that. There's going to be carpet on these anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to ball nose 1, 2, 3, and yeah, that's it. Right, so now you can see I've got all my stuff laid out. Got my null, the both strings and the treads. Now I'm just going to quickly cut 3 risers, 1 for the bottom and then 2 for the middle, and then I'm going to build this all as one piece, so then when I go over to the other plot it will look like this, just with an extra step. So yeah, I'll cut them and quickly get back to you, and then I'll put you on a time lapse as I'm building this all up. Right, so now I have everything all made up. These are my risers. As you can see, I've just gone over them with a little block plane, because on my things I've only allowed like a 10mm groove, because that's the route bit I have. So So then these just, if you route block plane the edges, they'll find their way a bit better, you know, rather than having to try and bash them in there. But yeah, no, I'm going to set up on a time lapse of me building this up. And, yeah, see how we go. Right, so now you can see there's the stairs made up compared to the old ones. So it's basically just added another step. There's a lot of glue on them, I know, but I want a lot of glue on these because obviously I've made them and that. Underneath, everything's glued and screwed. I need to, on these sections here, I put 4x2 or CLS and glue it with D4 glue and just put 3 screws through the top and 3 screws there. I've got the null on. You might have seen me struggling to get it square, but now this null is square off the bottom tread. So if the bottom tread is in level, the null post should be level as well, you know. So yeah, that was quite a nice little job to do. And yeah, I'll be fitting this tomorrow. I'll probably put some pictures of it fully fitted later on in the video when I come to edit this. I don't know when I'm going to edit this, but yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave a like and a subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see next time. So yeah, that's it for now.